Hello, Dietmar. How are you?
Good, Morten. How are you?
I'm good, and hello to you, Bodo. Nice to see you again.
Hello, Morten.
And
I hope you're fine.
sorry, what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Fine. So
Okay.
it's great to see you guys, and you dressed up for a show. So what not to like? So first of all, a very warm welcome here to English and to our um, learn with us, get to work. And I can see, Bodo, you are actually in a working environment. You are with our friends from Kohlhammer, right?
You're right. We are live from the production area from Kohlhammer in Stuttgart.
Yeah, and one of the things I like about Kohlhammer when I was visiting and making a film from Stefan Francisci was basically that when I saw the line of MBO folders with the Cobo-stacks, I saw
Yeah.
one operator, and I think it was 3 or 4 machines that person was operating. Is that true?
Yeah, no, the normal production is really that two machines are operated by one operator,
Okay.
but occasionally it can be three.
Okay. Before we getting to the presentation of what you have planned, Dietmar, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit so we get to know who you are and what you work with at MBO?
Yes, my name is Dietmar, and I'm 21 years with MBO. I'm
Only.
only, yes, just recently joined, and I'm a key account sales manager for the regions of South America,
Okay.
Spain, Portugal, Israel, Australia, and in the past I also took care about Asia, Africa, North America. So a long time experience about many countries, many languages, many cultures.
And with all this experience from different cultures, do you see a huge difference in how people are using MBO equipment?
Well, in some countries they use the machines more to the limits. In others they take it more easy. But in the end, all the customers are the same. They want to make money. They want to make profit. They want to get the jobs done as fast as possible to match with the promises to their customers, and that's it. Today, there are other achievements to make is to cut the costs down, to look for the energy costs, labor costs, or even to find labor.
Even to find labor, yeah. And that is, of course, one of the things that we are going to talk about during the show here. So, Bodo, maybe you can make a little presentation of yourself as well.
Okay. My name is Bodo Tegtmeier. I'm 28 years with MBO, and
You,
I'm the technical sales manager of MBO.
so you beat Dietmar. That's what you're saying, right?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
So, as a technical sales
Uh,
manager, what is your? I mean, are you like the pre-sales person, or you also giving feedback back to the production, or what is your role and what do you do?
I have my own territories where I'm doing the direct sales, but whenever something new gets involved, something has to be changed, I'm usually guiding these projects through the company MBO.
Every time I have met you, both in Portugal but also in Germany, it seems that you are a very popular man because I mean you have the technical skills, you have the knowledge from the organization, and then I think you have a flair for technology. Is that a right assumption?
Yeah, yeah, I like technology. I like to look in the future. Uh, there are no problems. There are only different solutions.
That's not the worst case to be in that situation. So, guys, just for the audience, if you have any questions, you can ask questions on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Facebook, and I will get all the questions presented here if there are any. Otherwise, I will prepare some questions for you guys. So, what is the plan now? I can't remember because we spoke about yesterday, but are we starting from Kohlhammer or are we starting with Dietmar?
We're starting from Kohlhammer.
So I will just disappear. I will, Dietmar and I, we will be out of the picture, but take it away. And then if you need us, we will. I'm sure we will be there, both of us, right, Dietmar?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Take it away.
Welcome to everyone. I'm here in Stuttgart at the company Kohlhammer. We are in the folding department here in the production area. The machines are running here with live jobs. That's not a demo or something like that. All the machines we have installed here are the same, and all of them are auto production lines. Auto production means in case that the machine is identifying every job by a code. This code has all the information about what job number, job name, and the version is possible. Version can be, for example, a different language or whatever. That's all the informations are supplied by that code. Whenever these pellets now go in one of the machine will identify the job and load from the MBO data manager the data are behind that. What kind of paper, how big is the sheet, how thick is the sheet, what kind of fold we have to do. The green part we can see right now is a camera, which is reading that code from every single sheet. So the machine will automatically recognize, even when there are multiple different sheets on one pallet, the machine will automatically stop production, run the machine empty, set the signal to the robot at the end that this part of the job is finished. As soon as the Cobo-stack has sent back the signal that the last package is on the pallet, the machine will call 2 sheets, which can be checked by an operator. But there is no real need to do it, as there is a VT50 fold quality control system in it. So the machine will automatically recognize when something is wrong on the sheet and the marks are not on the desired position. The folders are used here are K8 automated, but it can be done with many other MBO folders, so there's no real need that it must be that kind of folders. The machines we have here are with palletized feeder. The loading height is 1.2 meters. The basic for that system is the M1 control advanced of MBO, which shows you right now the data, what kind of job is running and where we are in production right now. So we can see we have already folded 25,500 of this section. From the pallet feeder, we go to the alignment table, which is also automatically positioned to the right point. The machine is equipped with an ultrasonic double sheet detector, so a single double sheet will not stop the production. The machine will eject that sheet while running. All sheet stops, everything is needed for folding, fold plates, fold rollers are set automatically on that machine. And quite unique is the option of this curve, that is a KT90, which can be placed at the crossfold unit. So the basic configuration of that machine is not changing. It's just that the VT50 and the delivery have to slide in parallel on tracks 1.3 meters to the side. Behind the VT50, we see an A80 delivery, which has its own ejection system, which can be triggered from the fold quality control. You can set any number you desire, how many bad sheets can come inside what amount of sheets. So, for example, 5 bad ones in 1,000 is still okay, and the machine keeps on running. At the very end, we can see our all famous MBO Cobo-stack, which is a big help for the operator and pretty much enables the system that 2 machines, or like Morten said at the beginning, in most it can be 3 machines operated by a single operator, which was right from the beginning the target from the company Kohlhammer, because it's so difficult nowadays to find qualified personnel. They said, we want to run the folders with as little stuff as possible. In the row of the 3 MBO machines, there's also one older machine. when this machine is in operation, then one operator can operate on bigger jobs all 3 MBO folders. But there are also times when some manual work is needed, so the sheet is too small for the Cobo-stack to put it down. Then there are up to 3 people for 4 folders in this department. The machine we see here is running with an A4 16 page, and it's a large job. But as we have seen, so far we haven't seen a single operator at the machine, and we are running now for several minutes. The Cobo-stack already has changed the pallet automatically, so whenever one pallet is full, the robot will automatically go to the other side and unload on the new pallet. And a signal will be sent to the operator, which can be on a tablet, but there's also a big screen on the side where the operator can see from any position in this hole any information from one of the folders. Where is some manual work needed? So that signal is sent there. So at the point, the operator will come, take away the full pallet, and put an empty one again there. Right next to the machine, we have the same machine, which is 100% identical to the first machine. But this is running with a 24 page. And here we can see the second possible configuration. So the 90 degrees curve is here in action. So paper comes out as the crossfold will get turned around by 90 degrees. So the orientation of the VT50 and the delivery is never changing. So, and behind this machine, we can see the big screen on the wall, which is giving all the information to the operator is here right now. And as everything is green on that big screen, that is a very good sign. So all machines are in production. You can see the first number is the actual running speed. The second number is the net production the machines achieve. But you must say machine 3 is right now running a very small feed and gets loaded by hand. That's the reason why the net production number is not very high. Average setup time from one of these units will be 10 to 15 minutes, depends on what kind of job we are going. If we have to move the line, it can be also 20 or 25 minutes. But also at this machine, you see all the time we are filming here, we never see an operator at the machine. As when a full pallet is in the feeder and the other side is empty, the machine can run 30 minutes to 1 hour without an operator doing anything. So, and for sure, all these systems are running 24/7 in this company. Depends on the workload. And the operator, here the robot, never gets tired. So I think that is a quite good introduction to our machines. And keep on going. So we see we have one more pallet to go on this job. We have many, many more pallets on the other job. There will be a pallet change on the machine 2-1 soon. Maybe we can look how the operator is handling that pallet change. So we go back to machine 1. So we have about 5 minutes more to go on this machine. As we see, the production run here is very long. I don't know the exact number, but my guess is something 40,000 per signature. At the very end, we see now an operator is tracking. So he takes out a pack in front of the robot, checks the quality, puts it back. And as it's a cobot, there's no danger to get harmed by the robot. Many sensors inside the robot arm will detect any contact to a human being, and the machine will stop automatically. But it pretty much only goes in pause mode and not in an error. And as soon as you press play again, the robot will carry on his way to unload the machines. In total, this machine is equipped with 3 ejection gates. So every of these units can eject a bad or misaligned sheet. At the end of the parallel unit, the K8 can eject the sheet. We have the VT50, which has its own control system. And the A80 delivery has an ejection system. But every unit can trigger any of these ejection gates. So in normal times, we try to run the sheet through, and at the delivery, the sheet gets ejected. The Cobo-stack is connected to the A80. So when the delivery has to be moved, he moves automatically as he's on wheels at the same time. There's basically no setup time related to the robot. In an auto production mode, he will get the size, the stack height, and the stack number from the main machine. These are numbers on an individual machine of a robot must be entered by hand. But all connected unit gets all setup data from the auto production line. So the K8 knows exactly how big the sheet is running out of the unit and will supply all connected units with these data. So there's pretty much no hand entering from any data involved. It's coming all basically of the Print Plus MIS system here. Goes to the data manager. Inside the data manager, the department leader can give it to 1, 2, or 3 machines. And then the operator is just bringing in the pallet. And the machine will automatically read the code and know what it's to do with this pallet. So the real manual work is really when a pallet is empty on the feeder, we have to lower the feeder table, bring in the new pallet. And that is a time where an operator is really needed at the machine. So that process starts in just about a minute. As the operator has to do no actual work at the machine, he can prepare his machines. And has it already on a pallet jack. So it's ready to be taken in. So this pallet is finished. The feeder is now going down. but the second machine is still in production while he's changing the pallet here. So the physical workload for the operator to operate these two machines is much less than on a conventional folder with operating a single machine, where you still have to unload the paper all the time. So there's not much time to go anywhere or prepare the next job. So, and the machine is back in production again. As the machine has not recognized the new code, it just keep on going in production and still writing on the same counter. So, quick check from the operator if everything is still okay. And now this machine doesn't need an operator for the next 30 minutes. I think we can finish the demo now and can go to the question and answer part.
That is simply fantastic. So let's bring both me and Dietmar back here. And Dietmar, I give you sound back. It was just because your microphone picked up when you were breathing, and I think you were as excited with what you saw that I was. So that is why I was also turning off myself in this case. So Bodo, I mean, it's what I like about this is like seeing is believing, right? Because I mean, you are in a real production. This is not something that has been planned. It's not a demo. It's actual production we see here. And even when you change the pallet, even though it was the same size, it was a minute or max 2 minutes, then you were basically up and running again, right?
Yeah, that we can really see. If you see the running speed of this machine is right now 9,600, and the net production number is over 9,000. So the amount of downtime is really, really minimum.
Yeah. When you look at the technology that MBO brings to market, one thing I think a lot of people, of course, are curious about is the robot, because that is still like a kind of new to the industry, right? But I mean, if you look at the productivity of the MBO folding machines here, that is kind of your core business, right? So the collaboration between the cobot and the technology you have developed, it equals high productivity, right?
Yeah, very. The cobot is part of a system. So the weakest link in this entire system is defining the productivity. So everything must be on a high level that we can achieve these numbers.
And if you look at, I mean, I think everybody who's watching this is, of course, always looking at the competition in the market. Do you have any, I mean, honestly, do you have any competition with this productivity right now?
I haven't seen any auto production line or near auto production line where the folder is controlled by a code, the folder is checking the fold quality itself and is unloading the paper at the end.
Mm-hmm.
To our knowledge, there is no second system existing to that.
And you introduced the Cobo-stack a little bit more than a year ago. I saw it in your let's say in your factory in Germany, and then I saw it again when it was presented to a larger audience in Portugal. But as far as I know, you have been quite successful with it, right? I mean, it's that's become like something people really can see the advantage of having, right?
Yeah, we have now selling the Cobo-stack since 2.5 years now.
Okay, 2.5 years. Okay.
There are over 200 units installed in the market.
Congratulations. That must be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And does the Cobo-stack only work with MBO equipment, or can you also install it with other brands?
About 70% of these robots are working behind MBO machines. That means there's a quite big part left for other machines. So about 30% are working behind other folders, saddle stitchers, sewing machines, perfect binders. And one example, we can't show it right now, but at Kohlhammer here is a Kobo's binder, and there's a Cobo-stack unloading behind that.
So because I think that MBO has been a first mover I think actually first mover is the right word for having cobots as part of your offering to the binding equipment. Do you see this as a starting point for MBO to have both on the offloading side and also on the loading side, and maybe even on the let's say on the collators? And I mean, do you see the robots as becoming more and more interesting for a lot of different types of application from the binding side?
This unloading behind folder is the first step in that market. I'm pretty sure from 10 years from now, we all will say to each other, can you remember the time when you have to unload paper by hand? Because then it will be just normal that robots and cobots are doing the physical work in a binary.
Makes sense.
Come to Drupal and you will see more.
Okay, there was a little teaser there. Dietmar, as you said, working around the world, do you also see an interest for the robotization and Cobo-stack in other markets, or is it mainly in Europe and Germany, or?
Yeah, our biggest market is today Germany, but it is Europe, it is North America, it is Japan.
Bodo,
let's say all the industrial units.
Bodo, I was asking Dietmar, so keep quiet.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Bodo has already mentioned the majority of our machines, but I can also tell you that we have recently sold and installed Cobo-stacks in other markets, like in Israel, like in Portugal, where they're not very expensive labor costs. The reason for that is that they have a lack of operators willing to work in a printing or bindery environment. So, and this I can also hear from Mexico. Mexican customer tell me, we don't get people. Yeah. So I believe this is also a potential in the market for us more and more.
And when you work in sales, do you, I think that a lot of us are always interested in people that take, let's say, technology advantage of technology. So is this the cobots? Is that also an opportunity for you to get the folding equipment into printing companies? I mean, so the robots are like, oh, this is interesting. Let's talk to these guys because they are smart. I mean, so does that give you new opportunities in the market as well?
Of course, as Bodo said, the Cobo-stack is not only a unit which can work after the folder, it works also after saddle stitch or sewing machines, perfect binders, and whatever machine brings a stack out in a certain way, we can take if the size and the weight fits.
And Bodo, back to you for a second here. So when you look at for example Kohlhammer here, do you see Kohlhammer as a typical user, or are they like a kind of a first mover in the market for utilizing the Cobo-stack so much?
I will not say first mover. Kohlhammer is the first mover for the auto production line,
Yeah.
and it was really the first 3 systems we installed. Nowadays we have many more systems installed in the market, but for that system, Kohlhammer is the first mover, and with 4 Cobo-stacks in production, one of our bigger customers for robotics.
And I also remember when I interviewed Stefan Francisci, the CEO of Kohlhammer, that he is, he's a person that is always looking for ways to optimizing his business. He told me that he's using the Heidelberg subscription model. He's using the MBO Cobo-stack heavily. He is interested in finding ways on how to optimize his business, and I think it's both because of course the difficulty of getting employees, but I also think it's because he can see a future where he can make his company more profitable. I mean, I know it's 2 sides of the same coin, but is that also what you hear from your customers in general, that this is a way to optimize your profit?
Yeah. Customers and nowadays are pretty much forced to do automation. And when Mr. Francisci came once to us, his approach was totally different. He didn't say to us, I need a folder, or I need a robot, or I need that system. He said, I have X amount of sheets and I have epsilon amount of operators. How I can do that?
Okay, that's a good approach.
So the approach was really different, and he's thinking to the future, and he's looking for how he can make his company more productive without having the need for many operators.
Okay, makes sense. Super. I don't have any further questions right now. I don't know, Dietmar, did you have a presentation as well?
Yes,
Okay.
I do have a presentation about our out-of-foot in the market, which is the digital equipment.
Yeah, should we go that, and Bodo, stay online because we may have more questions afterwards. But let's take the presentation from Dietmar, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay. No problem.
Okay, but
I share then. Okay.
Yeah, you do that. Let me see if I can get it here. We tried it a bit yesterday, and we decided that it was stupid, right? So you need to go full screen. Now. Yeah, try to go full screen. I think you should go full screen, Dietmar, on the PowerPoint.
I am in full screen.
Okay, then you have to change the screen sharing here, because it is still seeing the presentation layout.
How do I do that?
Remember that yesterday when we tried it, you basically quit the screen sharing right now, and then you go to full screen, and then you Alt tab till you get to the screen, to the full screen. Then it works. We did it yesterday, so I know we can do it. So something is happening here. Let's see.
No.
Yeah, and then you go to the presentation. Yeah. Okay, now you quit it again. So now it's a black screen, so I think it will, okay, now it works.
It's always changing to another screen.
Yeah, now it's working here. So
It works?
yeah, it works fine. So I will just mute myself, but I will be listening to you. So if there's any problems, you just tell me.
Okay. So as we have seen our core business folding machine, we also have a second foot in the market, which is the roll-fed or digital solutions. MBO has a long-established history of success in the commercial print industry. As you can see in the picture, we have our own production line in Portugal. We have industrial quality machines. We can offer nearline or offline solution for the digital market. And our strength is that we do not have lines which offer certain solution for a certain job. We have modules which are based on our system, and we can start with what is needed for your job, and then you can grow with your business and your requirements from your job. So the thing is, we have a growth for you through incremental investment in machinery and not buying whatever every time a new equipment. For instance, we can do letter folds, we have unwinders, we have units for the blower fold, we have units for split and merge, we have a maximum web speed of about 250 meters per minute, and we can have cut-offs in the sheeter from 4-inch to 80-inch, which is about just shortly over 2 meters length. We have a very low labor requirement, and we have, of course, many of our MBO delivery solutions as a choice. Standard equipment like perf, score, or slit tooling is incorporated in our tooling. So what we can do here is we can do flyers, we can do letter folds, we can even go to a second station and do letter folds, we can do 3-panel, 4-panel folds, whatever is needed on the commercial print. We also are able to do book blocks. Book blocks we can do same thing with a 30-inch, for instance, unwinder, a 30-inch sheeter, and we have folding units with also 30-inch, first unit, second unit. And we have our A80, which we have also just seen in the presentation from Bodo, to do the stacks. And these unit can also be equipped with a glue system, which will glue the book blocks together so that they can be moved to the next system. In our sheeter, we can do with or without a chip out. The chip out is then sucked away by a waste system. We can do the folding with the high or low folio. We call it also sometimes laps. And we have different kind of folding patterns, whatever a 4-4 or 6-6 or 4-6-6-4 configuration, the folding section can offer. So what we say here, we have a full flexibility. Mostly what people do is books in the A4 and A5 size, doing signatures with 8, 12, 16, 20 or 24 pages. Why do we do fold signature instead of cutting single sheets? We believe that a signature allows for more accuracy and register. We use less glue in the whole process. We have a flat product and a more stable product. And our product can also go to the sewing process. So in the end, we are offering a much more flexible and variable system to our customers. Whatever is needed, we will offer it. MBO also has installations in combination with Müller-Martini and Hohner saddle stitches in the US and also here in Europe, where we have cut sheet or roll fed in the feed. You can see that on the picture on the top is a cut sheet, a regular folder like our T50, and at the bottom we have a roll fed unwinder and sheeter going into a folding unit. This allows us to do very flexible and variable stitched products. We call that also sometimes a hybrid. A hybrid could be a full folder with a feeder table and a bridging unit to bridge from the roll fed to the folder. And this way you can do roll fed, you can do cut sheet, both with one machine. Again, it's all modular and offers the highest flexibility to the customer. In the continuation, of course, we have then after the folding, we have a blow fold unit by the saddle stitcher company. We have possibility of cover feeder. We have possibilities of normal feeding of signatures. We have then the stitching unit and the 3-knife trimmer, and then followed by a stacker or a normal stream delivery. A stacker could be also in combination with our Cobo-stack if required. Here we have a couple of solutions where we show that we can do landscape products A4, we can do portrait A5 or portrait A4 from a pile going into the MBO feeder, going into the folding system, doing a fold in A4 landscape knot, and in the portrait or portrait A5, A4, we do one fold and then the plow fold on the Müller-Martini or Hohner unit. The other solution is from the roll. In the same process, in some cases we go flat through the MBO without folding. In another case, we do folding. Or in the third line, which you can see in the bottom, we can do an alternating cutting. That means we can vary the cut length, and therefore we can also vary the fold. We can do a fold and then have a sheet not folded. So we have flexible buckle plates which can open and close. That means fold or deflect the product before going into the blow fold station and the stitching unit. MBO in combination with Herzog-Heimann also offers self-mailers. Same process, unwinder, sheeter, and then we have scoring or cutting tables. We have vacuum tables where we can apply hot melt, we can apply fugitive glue for closure. We can do blow folds and blow fold device. We can also add three-dimensional products with feeding and. So the creativity actually defines the configuration, and this is again the modularity your MBO can offer to you. You can grow with your demands from your customers. And of course, depending on the jobs, our Cobo-stack can also be added to the digital lines to do A4, A5 signature stacking, mostly used for mid-size and long runs, and can be even attached to existing stackers from MBO, like the A500 or A700. We heard today in several cases an outlook. MBO is going to present our new 23-inch sheeter and folder at the trade show Printing United, which is realized between the 18th and 20th of October. That means next month. And we'll have a joint booth with the MBO Group and Komori America. And the whole thing is realized in Atlanta and Georgia, in the United States. So we would like you to come and see, and to give you an interest about that. Here is a picture out of our CAD program, where you can see the suction going now up to the sky. That means it's easier to pick up. And more important, the cutting drums are being ejected to the side, to the operator side, like we have on our folding machines, the slitter shaft cassettes. And this allows for easiest cutting tools changes without basically hanging into the sheeter. The ejection table of the SVC23, how the unit is called, will have an independent speed so that we can slow down or accelerate smaller sheets coming out from the sheeter going into the folding unit. This only has a few teasers. The folding unit is a DF1 23-inch wide. As you can see on the right picture, has the slitter shaft cassette from our folding units, like in the Kohlhammer machine. We have all the standard of the slitter shaft cassettes. The table has a extended length so that we can also receive 2-meter long sheets. And more important, at the exit of the unit, there is a conveyor table with a sheet ejection. So misfolded sheets or detected sheets by a camera system in the front can be ejected on the fly after folding and before going into the next step, maybe in another folding unit or delivery system. So all this will be shown in Atlanta, and I hope to see you in Atlanta in many, many numbers. If you don't see me, ask for my colleagues. There will be plenty of people over there. See you then, and thank you very much.
That was super nice to listen to what you just said. I would like to add, because I mean, maybe it's not correct what I'm saying now, and then you can correct me, okay? Do you think that MBO is mostly known for folding?
Yes and no.
Yes and no? Mm-hmm.
In the United States, we are known as a top leader for the digital equipment, because of the modularity and the machines which are made to survive a 24/7 work in highest speeds. We are very successful in the United States.
I was not questioning your success, but I was just thinking from a European perspective. I think that MBO is mostly known for folders, and I was just wondering, because when you look at, for example, the digital lines you presented in your presentation, also where you have the combination of, let's say, 8 and 12 page signatures to actually reduce the number of pages, reduce the waste and also having 2 setups for doing this. I'm just thinking that it seems that there's a huge opportunity also for those types of products in Europe, right?
Definitely, yes. And we are going to put more efforts in the European and also in other markets.
Okay. And
this is why we also participate with you and hope that a lot of people see us. And if somebody has an interest, please contact us. Don't hesitate.
So I would like to dig into that for a second, because I mean, when you look at a company like MBO, what I see and what I also hear when I talk to people is that you have very sturdy equipment. Sometimes so sturdy that they keep going for a lifetime, right? But I was just wondering, because if you look at the competition on the digital side, for example, how do you differentiate the most from your nearest competitor when it comes to the digital side?
Well, as I said, we are focusing more on the companies with a larger use. We will not be able to compete with somebody who works with a folder 2-3 hours per day, or maybe
It should
4
be like
hours
full
per
run,
week.
basically.
Yes. But believe it or not, there are some companies, they say, I want to have a German-made machine, and I want to have a strong machine. Maybe this machine will then last for 20 or 30 or even 40 years.
Dietmar, you don't have to convince me. I know you do good machines and that you have customers that ask for German quality. The reason I was asking was just because when I did an interview, actually it was a webinar with Lance Martin, your colleague in the US, maybe a couple of years ago during the COVID. And he gave also a presentation about the digital capabilities and how MBO in America seems to have found a slightly different market than we have in Europe. And I was just wondering, because is it then vice versa? Is it also that, okay, do they sell a lot of folding machines in the US, or is it just two types of markets that have just developed differently?
No, there is still a folding machine market, but as we learned from MBO America and the colleagues over there, that it seems like it's a decreasing market in the US. It's more focusing on roll-fed printing, on digital printing, and less offset.
Okay, so that basically means that the digital transformation, where you see some offset work being offloaded to digital web-based printing, that is the market opportunity for MBO right now, both in Europe and in the US, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and how easy/difficult is it to get in to talk to customers? Because I think that sometimes the digital, let's say the digital minded printing companies have established relationship with other vendors. It could be, if you look at HP, Canon, some of the big roll-fed printing devices, they have for years worked with other companies in the binding segment. So I was just wondering, are you trying to get an interest also from the OEM side to collaborate with them, or how should people actually get in touch with you? I mean, because the presentation you gave, and also the solution, it seems to me like robust solution with a lot of potential in it. So, I mean, how should people get to know more about this? Is it just contacting you, or how should they learn?
Well, we are in contact with HP. We are in contact with Screen. We actually have solutions running in the States with our unwinders and even rewinders. So I would say just contact us, and then we'll find a way.
And with the capabilities that you have, because I mean, you said the modularity seems to me like interesting, because basically you can have the modules that fit into the application that, let's say, the printing company, if let's say they have a majority of the jobs are for direct mailers, and they have to insert, as you say, 3D objects. Then you have a solution for that. If they need to have something that is more like a folding, you have an option for that. So basically, you can tailor the solutions to the market, right?
Correct. And we can even we can separate units and place another one inside. And this is what makes our system absolutely flexible. And a customer can buy tailor-made. And if his job and requirements change, we can change with him. He doesn't have to buy the complete line again in a different configuration.
And what about, I mean, one of the things I see often at trade shows is that seems to be some kind of intercollaboration between all the finishing manufacturers. So you have sometimes you have one, let's say, unwinder from one customer, and then you have like a folding from another vendor, and then you have like a stitcher from a third. You gave an example of both MBO and Hohner. Müller Martini and Hohner. Is that also how you see the future for MBO in these collaborations, that you have an, let's say, a kind of open interface to the other OEMs?
Yes, definitely. I mean, we also have units running with Programmer, for instance, from Switzerland for die cutting. We shape a product, we cut a product, we shape a product, and then we treat it in a folding or application unit. Also, the fact that MBO works together with Baumann, together with Programmer, together with Hohner in an alliance group, that also shapes our interest and the possibilities. And when you have a line which is from one supplier and all the suppliers are known, you can have a fully serviced line also communicating.
Yeah.
And this is also a good plus if we have our unwinder, maybe a print engine in between, and then we have our lines, then all is together and works and communicates electrically and software.
Yeah. And that is, as you mentioned, the Post-Press Alliance is something that you are heavily involved in, and I think that is a great ambassador for collaboration. So I think that is very, very good for the customer, because then they can pick and choose what fits their business the best, and that is always, I think, something that we should all be focusing on, making sure that the companies are doing the best.